Hey YouTube, Kira Qualia here, bringing you all an update to my Cardfight Vanguard Lianorn deck profile for February 2024. Wanted to update the Lianorn deck with the new 54 card rule for D format, and also with the addition of some of the new promos and some of the changes I've made to the deck. I figured an update was due since all the good number of the other D format decks are pretty much outdated at this point, and Lianorn being one that I've been playing pretty regularly, pretty happy with the results of the changes I've made to the deck. Lianorn focuses on gaining big card power with all the boosts that you can provide to your Lianorn Vanguard using all of your rear guards, and the Unison dress adds in this power ability as well with the new grade 3 we got back during the release of set 13. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the ride deck. Our starter is Announcing Wind of Spring Corfi. When wrote upon, if you went second, draw a card. Our grade 1 is Budding of Pleasant Sound Gracia. When wrote upon by Brilliant Tune Rectina, you may call this card to rear guard. So it gives you a grade 1 on rear that also gains an additional 5k when it boosts a Vanguard. And our grade 2 being Rectina. When wrote upon by a unit with Lianorn in its card name, you can Soul Blast 1 to choose a grade 1 or less card from your drop zone and call it to rear guard, making up for one of the grade 1s you may have discarded off of your ride deck costs. If your back row has 3 or more rear guards, this unit gains boost, with our grade 3 being the only copy of Grand March in Full Bloom Lianorn that we run in the deck, because our main focus is the Unison form Lianorn Vivace for our grade 3. With Full Bloom Lianorn, it has a once per turn counterblast to draw a card, choose a card from your hand, and call it to rear guard or discard it. And when this unit attacks, you Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand, and boost this unit with all your back row stood units with boost. If you boosted this unit 3 or more times, you get to drive +1. At the end of that battle, choose 2 your back row rear guards and stand them, so they can at least provide boost for your other rear guards that haven't attacked yet. But at the drive plus and the immense power that Lianorn can attack with each turn makes it a pretty pressured Vanguard, even more so when we go into our Unison dress form, which is March Fleur Lianorn Vivace. With this card's Unison dress, when it's placed by riding from a unit in Unison dress state or a unit with Lianorn and its different card name from this unit, draw a card, and this unit is in Unison dress state until the end of this fight. So that is the ability of Unison dress, and when this unit in Unison dress state attacks while not boosted, stand all of your rear guards and boost this unit with them. If you boosted with 3 or more units at the end of that battle, counter +1, choose 3 of your units, stand them, and they get +5 and drive -1 until end of turn. So in addition to the boosted power to your Lianorn, you can then, restand 2 units along with your Vanguard because they get the drive -1, meaning you can swing again with Lianorn Vivace against your opponent. So it's a very pressured attack with all the boosting that you can provide to it, standing all of your rear guards and boost this unit with them. So then you have the multiple attacks along with the 2 restands for 2 other units to hit for a good variety of different attacks against your opponent. And we also run for the grade 3s 2 copies of Resonance Dragon. If your units boost a total of 3 or more times this turn, this card gets +5,000. So a great card to restand for Lianorn Vivace for the added pressure. And at the end of the battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, if you have a Vanguard with Lianorn in its card name and your units boosted a total of 5 or more times this turn, counter +1, put this unit in your soul, choose one of your rear guards and stand it for the additional multiple attacks that you can provide with Resonance Dragon on top of some of your other cards in the deck as well. I wasn't running it before. I couldn't believe I wasn't. It just added so much more pressure to the deck and also some more soul buildup for some of your other cards. Our only grade 2 that we run in the deck is Festoso Dragon. When this unit is placed on rear from hand, if you have a Vanguard with Lianorn in its card name, counter +1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 grade 3 or less unit from among them, call it to rear, and it gets boost until end of turn. So being able to provide boosts to our other cards in the deck that don't, and the only one being that is Resonance Dragon, with the rest of the cards in our deck being grade 1, at least having another boosted unit to then potentially restand as well for Lianorn Vivace. For the grade 1s, I'm running 4 of the new promo card, which is Concert of Many Emotions Parseia. When this unit is placed on rear guard other than during the battle phase, choose up to 1 card with Unison Dress ability from your hand and reveal it. If you revealed a card or your Vanguard is in Unison Dress state, Soul Blast 1, choose a card from your drop with a different card name from this unit in grade less than or equal to your Vanguard and call it to rear guard. And at the beginning of your main phase, if your Vanguard's in Unison Dress state, you may put this card into your soul, giving you more soul buildup, but also just giving you resources to then use to call out more cards onto the field for just being in the Unison Dress state, which we can easily do, or at least reveal another Unison Dress card in our hand to do this card effect. I also run the 4 copies of Rosarium Fairy. When this unit attacks, if you have a Vanguard with Lianorn in its card name, your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater. Choose one of your other back row rear guards and increase this unit's power by that unit's power to hit for some pretty big numbers if this is one of the other cards that you restand for your attack against your opponent. And being able to call out a token to provide additional boost when placed on rear guard to retire another rear guard to call 2 plant tokens to rear guard. Also 4 copies of our Performing Petal Diantha. When it's placed on rear guard from hand, if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, counter +1, choose a grade 3 or less card from your drop and call to rear guard. So more setup, so we at least have a full field to work with in this deck. And during your turn, if you have 2 or more grade 1 or less rear guards, it gets plus 5,000, which will almost always be a guarantee just with the number we're running in this deck and the consistency just to call out more and more cards, whether it be with Diantha or our Parseia. And also the 4 copies of Rhythm of Joy Alentis to finish off our 4 ofs for the grade 1s. During your turn, if you have a Vanguard with Lianorn in its card name, this unit gets plus 2,000. If your Vanguard's in Unison dress state, it gets plus 5 instead. So a permanent 13k during your turn. At the end of the battle, your Vanguard was boosted a total of 3 or more times. Retire this unit to draw a card, and if your damage zone has no face-up cards, provide a counter charge. So having counter charge power in this deck as well, so we at least have ways to do so with some of our cards requiring some pretty heavy counterblasts, including Lianorn Vivas. It can add up pretty quickly, eating away at your counterblasts, so having 4 Alentis to at least get those cards back is always needed. And then 3 copies of Forest Protecting Hunter Prosper. When this unit is placed on rear by a card's ability, you may soul charge 1. And when this unit boosts, if you have a Vanguard with Lianorn in its card name, choose a unit in the same column as this one, and it gets plus 5,000. So being able to at least provide cards in the same column, like our Resonance Dragon, to get more power on top of its own, to at least hit for 23k if our opponent were to get a trigger, to at least have another card that can still hit against our opponent, even more so if we also Persona Road. And then also 2 copies of Green Jeweled Beast Almadar for the putback of our ride deck to gain additional 15k shield on the guard circle or a soul charge of 2, and choosing a unit to get plus 5,000 while it's on the rear guard. And then lastly, for the grade 1s, the 3 copies of Custodial Dragon and the 1 copy of Elementaria Sanctitude, just for the Sentinel lineup when going up against other decks that have the triple drive ability, and then less of the discard costs, depending on how many cards in our hand for Custodial Dragon. For the trigger lineup, I'm going with the 8 critical, just because with the triple drive power and the restand pressure of our Vanguard, it definitely pops up a lot to use. So the Melodia Pomera and the Tier Knight Costas for the added pressure. If you have the ability trigger, you can always take out one of these 2 for that spot. And then 3 copies of Serene Maiden Lena for the draw trigger spot as well. I thought of using the front trigger, but wanted to provide more of just hand consistency in the deck, with the heals being 4 copies of Rhythmica Kiwi, and also the 1 copy of Bless Favor for our over trigger to use in the deck also. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Like I said, there's a good variety of decks just that need updating now with the 54 card deck, including 4 in the ride deck and 50 in the main now. So going through them all, just making changes, but Lianorn took priority because it did have the new promo support from the latest monthly promo set. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Qualia out.